Hola, 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 mi gente. Really quickly, let's get the business out the way. Yes, right out the gate. We've been giving you nothing but fire ass content on the block. So don't forget, if you want to support the show, by all means, Cash App on the block with Jen. It is scrolling at the bottom. I get all the money via Cash App. I appreciate the super chats, but you know that YouTube fucks people in the ass with no Vaseline. They take a big chunk of your super chat. So if you want to support the show 100%, please Cash App on the block with Jen. If you're looking for us on social media, if you want to see us on TikTok, Instagram, or our own individual YouTube channels, look at everybody's name. Okay. It is right there underneath the name where you can find us individually. And you really should be following us individually because we have lots of juicy content of our own from our own world and what it is that we do. I share a lot of the content to give you a little taste, but you must subscribe to everyone individually, okay, to get your fill. All right. When one of us is missing from up here, you know where to find us on your own. Welcome, chat. Hold us down. We're going to get right into this because I didn't know tonight was the Latin Billboard Awards. So,
wow.
yeah.
I
So
know
I
you
should be,
never miss those.
listen, I should be on my Telemundo right now. I actually do miss them. I'm not a huge fan of award shows, but I am writing something that that I've incorporated Latin music because Latin, the explosion in reggaeton is and it's ruling the world along with Afro beats. So I'm just watching for research, see who's who and stuff like that. So I would like to catch maybe the tail end of it. It's 3 hours long. I can't sit through 3 hours of award shows. I can't do it.
Have you ever had to go to one? It is torture.
No. You mean like sitting in the audience?
Yes, it is torture.
No, I've gotten close, but I hear it's grueling. I hear it's grueling. So
not glamorous. It's not sexy at all. I've been to the Grammys like twice, and I was just like, "Oh, this is what I wanted. Like, I actually wanted this. I actually asked for this."
And then I hear you're like starving while you're sitting there. You can't.
They don't get no food.
Oh no, see, I would be cranky as fuck. I'd have to take my little edamames, my water. I'd have to go, any way. So salute to all the nominees tonight and all the people that are winning. All right, guys, let's get into this. Really quickly, that social media, we give you a lot of we give you a lot of tidbits of how social media runs. We're all a part of the system, right? This story is on a loop. Okay. This interview is not new. Okay. They're recycling it like they recycle a lot of things on social media. I think they want you on a loop. And it's interesting because what they wanted to do was shorten your attention spans. We're going to do a whole show on this separately. But basically, social media wants to shorten your attention spans. That's why Reels went from, a minute. Now they're 30 and then 15. Now they're 1 minute. Reels. So it's very, very interesting and even shorter than that. So on top of they want to shorten your attention span, now they're just looping stories. Like every year they drop the same 10 stories, right? So here we are again
like
with
we on TV.
Yeah, but just a lot worse. And what's interesting is if you observe the humans on social media, they're just as passionately arguing about the same exact story as they were a year ago, which is a little bizarre. That's kind of like, I have an argument with you about something that happened on Tuesday, year 2023, and then in year 2024, it's like, oh, remember that? And then we're arguing as passionately about it. So it's very, very strange. It is like an episode of Black Mirror. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, you should be watching Black Mirror, the series
You
on
mean
Netflix.
the documentary?
Yes,
now
Lily said it's now documentary.
yeah, his status has changed. They updated their Facebook status to documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really bizarre how we're all operating on these machines. And it's not even a conspiracy. Like we'd be like, ooh, spooky conspiracy. But come on, how many whistleblowers have come on and said, no, this is how we program social media because we need you to stay on it. We need you to stay on it. So we put out certain content so you can stay on it. So it's not even a conspiracy. It's not like, ooh, the man behind the curtain.
Anybody with 2 pieces of brain cells can look at that and put that together and see how this is purposely funneling, a lot of things.
Mhm.
It's designed to keep us addicted. And I was thinking about this too. The fact that they play in our face and call us users should
Mhm.
tell you something.
Right.
Like that's the funny part. I'm like, they play in our face with that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
user, bitch,
Yeah.
don't do me. Don't do me, TikTok.
But I love, Lily, I love how it shows how, again, you know how I feel about humans in general, but, humans are very arrogant and obnoxious. And this goes to show like all those, oh, they don't want us to know. And then I'm like, okay, so now you know, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Right? Like, what are you going to do? So it's funny to me, like when all these things, like you say, they're playing in our face. It's like, yeah, they're calling us users. They're using us as capitalist society. We all move like cattle, right? They're putting out, vaccinations and okay. And they're telling you like, no, this doesn't work. Oops. We killed 50,000 of you. Our bad. Right. Like they really do play in our face. And then it's like, okay, what are you going to do about it? You're going to watch your football and you're going to eat your mac and cheese. That's what the fuck you're going to do, right? So it's funny how people, you always like, they speak very threatening, in a very threatening fashion to the government, right? Like, yeah, they don't want us to know. Okay, and what are you going to do when you find out, sir, ma'am, right?
Right.
That's the idiocy of conspiracy theorists, in my opinion.
Mm.
Okay, like one of my bros I grew up with, he goes down the YouTube rabbit hole and he always drags me down this shit. And recently he's down the YouTube NASA rabbit hole, right? And he's like, yeah, they're fake the moon landing, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, all right, now what? Let's say if all this is true, what you and me supposed to go to fucking
I was driving down there I'm driving down there after the stream.
Bro. Save this shit. It's cute. It's okay.
Haran, go to Party City, get you a little astronaut costume.
And that's it.
Right. And going down there and I'm here to do an inspection because they said your ass didn't go to the moon. Right. I need to show me around. Like, I don't know what we're supposed to do with this.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, so in the bullshit, in the news, the shit we got to pretend we give a fuck about, Sexyy Red leaked her own sex video, if that's what you want to call it. It's just a shot of her greasy vagina and some dude with an average size penis, you know what I mean, penetrating her. Yeah, and she's holding her nasty tattooed leg. So if you like crackhead porn, go ahead and take a Google. And Sexyy Red got it for you, which just tells me these are porn actors who rap. These are not necessarily rappers. And we had the conversation here with Crazy Legs. If you missed that episode, please watch yesterday's stream. It was freaking phenomenal. We had a deep conversation about, the state of hip hop, and do rappers, are they the reason for their own demise, right? It was a great stream yesterday. Thank you to Crazy Legs for popping up on us. He pulled up just randomly, so that was a lot of love. so we're looking at these rappers, but like, like Crazy Legs was saying, like Haran, you was echoing his statements. It's basically, this isn't hip hop per se. These are people who can rap, right? And I use that even
I was about to
loosely.
say that's up for debate.
Right. I use that loosely, but during an award show, they will fall under the rap category, right? So,
Okay.
yeah. So, but these are very much porn actors who rap. Sukihana is a porn actress. She literally does porn. And now I guess Sexy Red is like, oh, so let me do porn. And the little high yellow girl, the little Orphan Annie girl, she bends over and she's constantly rubbing on her vagina. I would call that soft porn out in public, right? You're enticing a man by rubbing your vagina. To me, that would qualify as soft porn. You just haven't taken off your panties yet, right? But stay tuned for that. I'm sure we'll be seeing a big beige vagina on our timeline soon enough.
Let that money slow up. Let that money slow up.
I'm just waiting for the colorist argument for that. Sukihana and Sexy Red had to get fucked while Little Orphan Annie did not. All she had to do was bend over. Just saying, there's a colorist angle in there.
Interesting.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a bunch of streams on that already.
But you know what? I have already seen that people are saying that they don't like Sukihana and Sexy Red because they're dark-skinned women. And I'm like, no, they're pretty. I mean, you can peel them down to the white meat. Those two women are hideous. They are hideous.
Everything about them. Everything about them. I try to squint.
They're hideous, right?
No, Jen, excuse me. Anytime you say that, they tell you the reason why you said that is because those people don't have Eurocentric features.
Is that what it is?
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do.
That's usually what it is. They have strong African features. That's why.
Oh, is that what it is?
Okay.
All right.
So I'm about to make this proclamation right now on this good October that when we go into 2024, what we're not going to take into 2024, right, is we're gonna bring back being allowed to not like someone without being racist or phobic or ist or any of that. No, the bitch is ugly. Okay, that's nothing to do about with her being the dark or the trans or nothing. Just ugly bitch. That's it. We're gonna stick with that. Let that be the reason. Okay, that's what we're gonna do in 2024.
I vote for the ugly bitch label for sure. I mean, Ice Spice is as light as the driven snow, and she looks like she has Down syndrome. Shout out to all my people with Down syndrome doing the damn thing. I'm just saying she looks like she belongs to that community. Okay. And then there was a picture of her and this little, did you see her next to the little redheaded monkey? Did you guys see that picture? Oh my God. Well, I mean, the resemblance was there. Now, am I saying that because she's black? She's not even black. So there you go. I'm off the racist hook. She's Latina like me. There you go.
You pulling the Roseanne. I thought the bitch was white.
I thought the bitch. Now she tried to do the mix, like I'm half this, I'm half that, whatever. They're like, Ice Spice is fucking Dominican. She's fucking Dominican from the Bronx. It's whatever, right? So but people have to jazz up their chemical makeup to sound more exotic than they fucking are, right? But again, we can't say it enough. We're from New York. She's the fucking Dominican neighbor with the weird looking kid. We've all seen them.
What she is.
We've all seen them.
Yeah, she's all up and down Fordham and
especially
all of that.
Matter of fact, she's from Fordham. Fordham.
That's what I'm saying. She's typical.
Ice Spice is from Fordham, so there it is, right? And we could talk about we could talk about it. We're from that world, but Sukihana, I keep saying she looks like Tracy Morgan to me. Sexy Red, I just have no words.
That's Young Thug.
Young Thug. I mean, 25 years old, and you have to think all these girls are in their 20s, early 20s, not late 20s.
She's got a hell of a jawline. I mean, this shit is pretty pronounced.
Early.
No, my thing is this: like, I am seriously curious, and I guess I don't need to be curious because there's just got so much going on. But when I'm out and about, I'm constantly wondering why these young people look so old.
Yeah.
It's not just a few of them. Like it's to the point where that's become the norm, and then them having a baby face or just even looking their age is becoming obsolete.
I'm really wondering if it's more than environment, Lily. I'm really wondering, is it, like, all jokes aside, is it in our
Yeah,
water? Is it in our food? Is because the young, like the 20 something year olds, it's like we're the last generation that looks younger than our age. Is really strange
we
to me.
really are.
These 20 something year olds, I mean, they're suffering from obesity and wrinkles. And I'm like, what's going on with the 20 something year olds? This is weird. You walk by a high school and the students look like the teachers.
Well,
Right.
so there's also the argument that we come from stuff from the 50s and 60s, people with some stern genetics. So we're from that genetic makeup. Again, I keep telling people our genetic makeup, a lot of us were on fucking crack. A lot of these motherfuckers are descendants of crack babies. So you got crack babies, you got that pool of deteriorated genetics, mixing with some more fucking deteriorating genetics. Some of these motherfuckers are taking all kind of perks and doing all kinds of this, doing all kinds of that. So you just put all that up into a shaker, it's gonna cause problems, man, because you're already dealing with weak genes. I keep telling y'all, these boys' testosterone levels are not the testosterone levels of the guys and the men we grew up with and our fathers.
No.
I don't need any kind of scientific evidence to show me that. I know a strong male body when I see one. And these boys don't got it.
No, the bodies that I see on these young boys today, it's scary. You're going to see one or two things. You're going to see really frail, looking like a 10-year-old Asian boy, or you're going to just see like it looks like their body's just melting. Like even if they're like their overweightness doesn't look the same. And I'm talking about the young men, their overweightness. And what I mean by this, and I'm not trying to be funny about what I'm about to say. It looks like a lot of them are taking hormones to transition because of the way that their fat is now. Because the point of taking hormones to transition is so that your fat can redistribute in more hippie, breast, ass areas, right? More curvy.
But Lily, that's why they call them soy boys. There's a lot of soy in the food, a lot of soy in the food. So like James is saying there in the chat, the processed foods, and it's sad. I follow Styles by Dave, and he does all the prom suits for these kids. Sorry, I had to ask him. I was like, how old are these kids? And he was like, they're graduating high school. I'm like, they're my size. I'm not used to seeing that because, like Haran said, our uncles were big, our dads were big. So it's like, oh, look at these little tiny teenagers. This is interesting.
Tiny teenagers. This is like a toy line. Like, it's seriously like.
I'm like, you're so cute in that little size 2 tuxedo.
Right.
Look at you.
Either a 2 or a 30.
But I will say there are two. Watch your mics, guys, because I feel like I'm in a tunnel right now. It sounds like I'm in a tunnel. There are two different demographics, though. If you notice, there's two different demographics. There's still like that demographic of guys that look really, really healthy, kids that look really, really healthy, and then the other kids, it's like, eesh, what happened, right? But shout out to the ghetto and the food deserts and the shit that we don't have at our disposal, unfortunately.
Food deserts are real. I've lived in one, and it's hell. When I was living in a section in Atlanta, I had everything that was around. First of all, there weren't any grocery stores, so I couldn't get fresh food and fresh produce. You had your typical Checkers. You had what's the other? Oh, it was a fish fry place. Of course, we gotta have our Chinese, you guys. And McDonald's, she was there. It was just like it was the usual suspects in no grocery store, and nothing is walking distance except those places. That's all you're surrounded by. Like it was hell. It's not fun living in the food desert.
I'm not surprised. Oh, this just in. YouTube Press says that Sexy Red is promoting Trump now. I smell CIA. I'm not surprised because, they're using these puppets, you know what I mean, to get the other puppets to vote. So the other puppets could think they actually have power in voting. Right?
Always fun.
Yeah, that's always fun. So let's jump right into this. Okay. Our fluff can easily segue into our main topic. Our main topic is billionaire Jay-Z suggests he wouldn't loan his cousin $4,800, and that shocks fans again, because remember, this is on the loop, so the fans are shocked once more. But the segue is something that Haran and I, we're rolling around in the DMs about. I don't see how he doesn't see this. I'm actually shocked he doesn't see this, but I'm going to leave it to the chat and I'm going to bring it to the rest of the panel and I'm going to see what everybody got to say. So Anthony Mackie, what happened? What happened?
Totally different situations. What we were arguing about and the Jay-Z shit, two totally different situations.
Still a segue.
I'm on Jay's side. No two things can be true.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense that you're on Jay's side and not on Anthony Mackie's side. It's the same shit.
Because it's two totally different situations.
Let's roll the beautiful bean footage and then we'll go into it because I think I'm gonna be a little controversial tonight as well.
Okay. I'm gonna roll it. So just to set it up, this is Anthony Mackie being asked for an autograph. This was his answer. Put your volume up because it's not like they're mic'd. It's not like these people are mic'd. And chat, you tell me what you think as well.
And that you get just so you were having at the game. Would you please take a picture with my grandson? I would really like it. You cannot? I can't. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. So you cannot do your name.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wow.
So let me play it. I'm going to play it again. Because just like in court, you can't just see it one time. And it's like, hey, what happened? Because the first time it's like, hey, what happened? And I'm going to pull up more evidence that supports this situation and the women that were actually there and what they thought. So try to listen again. Basically, she's coming up asking for an autograph. Anthony Mackie's like, huh? No. And she's like, so you cannot and you will not. He said, absolutely not. Wow. Okay, so let's hear it again. You can see both their demeanors, their body language and everything.
And that you get just so you were having at the game. Would you please take a picture with my grandson? I would really like it. You cannot?
I can't.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. So you cannot do your name.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wow.
So before I get into more of my evidence, I like going bit by bit. What's your first reaction?
My first reaction, okay, let's take out that it's not him for 2 seconds or for a few seconds, okay? Because I'm going to bring who it is back into the equation. I'm one of those people who's like, I get it. People have a sense of entitlement when it comes to celebrities that is unreal. And this is what happens, and they try to violate celebrities and public figures space and boundaries all the time. I am nowhere near these people. I'm a little micro, tiny, and people have done it to me. So I get it. I totally get how it can be. And so that's where I'm at with this clip for right now.
Okay. No, Saint? What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. Like, I'm not, this happens to celebrities. Sometimes they'll be at the dinner table and people will come and the person that's coming thinks this is my one time to see him. It's only one autograph. It's only one photo. But then I don't know what kind of crowd this was in, but he takes that one photo and then everybody wants to take a photo. So eventually you got to tell somebody no, and then you're going to get trashed. So he just stopped it at the get and said, no, I can't. And that's, it's his prerogative. You can't, I understand feeling insulted. I mean, I get where she's coming from. I can, but if she steps back and thinks about it, it's no it's nothing. It wasn't something that he was, being uppity. It was just like, you gotta draw a line, and his line is obviously he's not gonna do it. So I don't think any worse of him. That's his prerogative. Some people will. Some people will never stop. There are some celebrities that say, I'm not. These are my fans, and I'm going to take selfies and do whatever I got to do. But that's not everybody. So that's his prerogative. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, well, Haran, explain to the people, the chat, the lurkers, the likers, the haters, the panel, explain to them what your point of view is just by looking at that video before I enter more evidence.
Now, if there seems to be any bias on my end, there might be, because Anthony Mackie is a fucking crybaby. You know what I mean? I have to sit back. I sat back for a number of years and watched this man. Well, in context, this is what it was about. Her grandson wanted to take a photo with Anthony Mackie because Anthony Mackie is the new Captain America. He's a black superhero now. So he wanted to take a photo with him. He got promoted, I guess, from his whack-ass previous character, which was Falcon, and he became Captain America. So in that context, he's cool now. The kid wanted to take a photo with him. Prior to that, he whined and complained that people didn't want to, take an actual photo with him because his character wasn't the shit like that. Okay. As a matter of fact, he was actually heckled at a Falcons game. Being a Saints fan was a big back and forth thing. You could actually look this shit up. My point is this: he spent so much time actually behaving as if he was owed something, even though you're getting a Marvel bag. As if you were owed the attention of fans, the attention of people when you're out in the street, for them to actually acknowledge you. And in the moment that you get this, they give you the promotion, they give you the thing that you've been haggling about for years. Now all of a sudden it's like, nah, I'm good. Chadwick Boseman had fucking cancer for like 5 years. I threw up that goddamn Wakanda sign every fucking 5 minutes for these ungrateful motherfuckers. This motherfucker went to go see kids with cancer. He took kids, photos with children. He did it all. It's a kid, man. What if it was just a kid? It didn't have to be like, it'll turn into pandemonium. What if it didn't? What if it wasn't pandemonium? What if it was just a kid who really who really idolized this guy? Maybe before he was, got the Captain America mantle, and just wanted to take a photo with him. No one's saying that they owe, they own you. But there was a time when you were acting like somebody owed you, bro. And you was getting a Marvel bag. You didn't have to get the promotion. That's all I'm saying. It goes both ways.
So I'm hearing a lot of what ifs from you. What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? Okay. All right, hold on. Okay, hold on. So you're saying you had to sit back and listen to him whine and complain. Can you define that? Can you define what was Anthony Mackie doing, whining and playing it? You sat back and you just watched it.
Like, for instance, I told you last night, felt some kind of way when sometimes he'd be in public with Tom Holland and folks want to take a photo with Tom Holland and not necessarily with him. And it's like, okay, Tom Holland is fucking Spider-Man. You're the Falcon. You're a sidekick. You're the sidekick to Captain America. They eventually after Endgame, they did this show called Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He said he didn't like the idea previously due to the fact that that there wasn't any sort of guarantee that they were going to give him the shield. It was just kind of a roundabout way of figuring out what they're going to do with the mythology of Captain America, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, he was whining about that. Even though he was getting his own show, he was continuing to be employed with the MCU. This guy's always whining about something.
So he wanted more money, more recognition, a better position in his job, in his career, basically. That's what it is. And he wanted to be in a better position.
Well, here's the thing. That's great. But you chose the position that you chose. You chose the character that you chose. I mean, you chose a sidekick. He previously tried out to be Black Panther. That didn't work out for him. You know, and you got your consolation prize. You went out and you wanted more. They didn't give it to you. Okay, no problem. So what? Like, you're still getting a bag. Why are you worried about? Here's my thing. If you're concerned about where your career is going, and you tackle that on to not getting the recognition of the public, you tack that along with that, how you feel, it's that you feel some kind of way that the public isn't giving you the kind of recognition and attention that a Tom Holland has, and now that you have this opportunity, you're seem like as if you're switching in a completely different direction. Seems kind of shaky to me, bro, because it's like you spent all this time bitching, you got your cake, and now you're kind of like, nah, I'm good. It just seems weird to me.
And this is okay. So can I go in? I guess I can go in when I change my mind, because my mind ended up changing. I'm trying to wait for the next being footage, because my mind ended up kind of being like, oh well, hold on. There was some other things I might want to take.
Oh, wait a minute, Adam Hearn. I'm not a stalker. I'm a big Marvel fan. It's the Marvel universe. I'm a comic book fan. I'm actually an illustrator, not a groupie, bro.
So
which leads to your bias.
And what did I say in the beginning, though? What did I just say? Okay.
So, and with me, it changed because, about him, but not about my stance on the boundaries and things like that. It just made me kind of side eye him a little bit, because I went further into the story right after I first saw the story. And I was like, oh, okay, this is his thing. And it's not about like what you do sometimes, it's about how you do it. And so I was, first of all, so apparently when he posted this, right, there were, I didn't realize that there had been a lot of Anthony Mackie stories over the years about how nasty he was to his fans. And so, because I just don't really follow the guy like that. But so then, as I was digging into the story a little bit more. First of all, I didn't know. Well, I found out that after the grandma, I guess she posted it, people started flooding her inbox with, they're like, "Oh, let me tell you about my story with them," blah blah blah, right? And so I also seen a couple of them in the comments section, and people were telling their stuff, and so I'm like, okay, well, these are just regular people that can be saying any old thing. And then one of my favorite YouTubers that I actually respect, she told her Anthony Mackie story, and they all pretty much sounded the same. As just like how, like, okay, first of all, this story right here that I was reading, the one lady said she gave him a compliment, and his response was kind of like, oh, like, go over there, I don't want nothing to do with you, like, you go be with your boyfriend. And she was like, sir, I just saw a person, and I gave a person a compliment. I don't want anything from you. I don't want a picture from you. I don't need an autograph from you. So it was just like a lot of these stories. And so Lovely T was telling her situation when she was in an industry party. Okay. And this goes beyond fans, because she said he was doing that to like everybody. Like, he was even doing it to the celebrities, and he just kind of stood off to the side and got drunk at the bar and didn't want to be bothered. Apparently he just doesn't like cameras, is what I picked up. He doesn't like cameras for whatever reason, and we're not owed that explanation at all. He does not have to explain that to us. But when I see like the whole kid thing, the reason why I kind of felt the way about that is because when I was younger, I was actually into wrestling because all my boy cousins was into it. And I was in an elevator and I met Hulk Hogan. And he was so
that kind. Racist bitch.
He's a racist motherfucker, but he was kind to me, and he was my hero at the time, right? I didn't know. And he was so kind, and that stuck with me till this day, right? And so little things like that mean a lot to a kid. So even if he said no, it's just kind of the way it's done sometimes, because I fully agree, you should be able to say no,
Okay, so let me say this. Let me say this, Haran. Let me say this. I think pitting him against Chadwick Boseman is asinine. You're talking about an actor. First of all, they're not twins. They didn't share the same womb. These are two different men. And one of them was literally dying. So I think when you are dying, you view the world and fandom differently, right? You are on your way out. So you're probably going to try to touch as many people as possible. You look at life differently because you don't have much life left. So comparing, Black Panther to the Falcon, I think it's unfair. The second thing is, I agree with Lily. Every human being, not just women, because we tell men all day here that they need to handle rejection. You need to handle rejection, right? We tell that shit to men here all fucking day, okay? Every human being has the right to say no without explanation. Listen to what I said. Every human being, including children to 99 years old, not gender specific, has a right to their own person, to their own body, to their own spirit, to their mind, to say no and not owe you an explanation. That's the first thing. Your no does not have to be explained. I don't give a fuck what you're a fan of. So what I said before I pass it to you, No Saint, because I got more. He and other actors, remember, this is just a job. I stress that here over and over again. Acting is a fucking job. It's just a job that happens to land you on people's television sets. But it's just a job. These people piss and shit and eat and get their periods and get cranky and eat and get stomach aches and get headaches and they got to check in to work and they got to sign contracts and they get paid. They go home. They got to pay for their fucking mortgage and their bills and their kids. These are regular fucking people with jobs, okay? Therefore, they are public figures, not public property. Understand there's a difference. They are public figures. They are not public property. I got more, but I know No Saint, you want to say something.
Yeah, so he's acting in movies like he's not an asshole. But he's an asshole, but that's okay. And I don't know how old the if it was a baby, I don't know how old the person that she wanted to take a picture with. If it was an infant, I mean, people will use infants to get pictures with the star, because that infant's not going to know who that is, 15 years down the road. So it's not offending the baby; it's offending her. Well, what did she learn? She learned that he's a jerk. When I was 15, 16, one of my favorite players. Now there were several that I really liked, but like the one that he would give me his autograph. I'd be at the practice field. He'd give me his autograph, but he wouldn't talk to me. He would just be walking and just like signing it, where the other guys that I liked, there were several of them would sit there and just chat like the nicest guys. So what do you learn there? You learn that people are not all the same. Just because you love them for something they do doesn't mean they gotta like you, and doesn't mean they have to do anything for you. So yeah, I mean, so what do we know? So from what I'm hearing, from what Haran and Lily are saying, so he's a jerk. Okay.
And by the way, and let me add, I also met Anthony Mackie at an industry party. It was at the Tyler Perry's for Color Girls after party. He was there. He was very nice to me.
Jen, police are nice to you.
He was very nice, but that's not the point. The point is that's the counter story to people saying he's an asshole.
Gotta add that in. Gotta add it in.
We can't omit that, right? He was very nice to me. He seemed very shy, very humble. He was very nice to me. Had exchanged a couple pleasantries. I went on about my business. You know what I mean? Work in the room. And
a lot of times people will say they're assholes because they wouldn't sign a piece of paper or take a picture with them.
Exactly. So let's go further, because I was just curious. How much of an asshole is this guy? Daily Mail, every single person has been white. Anthony Mackie is critical of Marvel's lack of diversity in hiring cinematic crew. I think that's being a good asshole. Okay. He says here, the 41-year-old actor who recently took over the role of Captain America for Disney's Falcon and the Winter Soldier told Variety in a piece published Sunday that every single person has been white on 7 movies he's made for the studio. He says, it really bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies where every producer, every director, every stunt person, every costume designer, every PA, every single person has been white. The New Orleans native told Hamilton's Daveed Diggs in a discussion for the outlet Actors on Actors Issues. We've had one Black producer. His name was Nate Moore, Mackie said. He produced Black Panther. But then when you do Black Panther, you have a Black director, Black producer, a Black costume designer, Black stunt choreographer, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, That's more racist than anything else, because if you only can hire the black people for the black movie, are you saying they're not good enough when you have a mostly white cast? So that's him being an asshole. And sometimes assholes, okay, fight for other people. I can vouch.
That's not him being an asshole.
But someone would say you're an asshole.
No. That's a completely different situation. That's not being an asshole. That's stating a fact and seeking for the betterment and the employment of a particular people who are often ostracized out of certain circles. That is different from what I'm saying. Now, the point that you made earlier, I'm not saying that he is public property. Absolutely not. But you kind of are, though. Again, though, I say this. There's a bit of bias involved because there's a child involved. Now, recently, we lost a big black superhero, Chadwick Boseman. You're the Black Captain America. This is an opportunity for you to actually, these kids, they're actually looking for another black superhero. It's an opportunity for you to take a photo with the child, so on and so forth. You don't want to do it, it's on you. But guess what? I didn't want to hear about your bitching and moaning about your personal situations. Now that
you chose to do that. You chose to hear him.
That particular situation that you spoke about when he was speaking about the employment of our people and so on, that made sense. I'm all for that. But I don't give a fuck you felt a certain way because Tom Holland got a picture and you didn't. Gives a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't care that, you feel some kind of way because you've been a sidekick for a particular long time. Who gives a fuck? You're still getting a Marvel bag.
Okay,
which is a bigger bag than 80% of working actors right now.
Your argument is veering into weird, though.
You know what I mean? Then when you got the opportunity to actually, get everything that you wanted, you got on some funny shit.
So my question is okay, so we all know that these people, this is just their job, right? But we also know that people aren't able to separate those things, right? So like, for instance, we can take Sukihana, for instance, right? She promotes whole culture and then gets surprised when people come up and treat her like a hoe, right? So it's like when taking specific jobs, you kind of got to know like, okay, once I take this, people are going to think that I'm fucking Captain America when I'm out with my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really tough decision because it's so real. Like, people cannot distinguish characters from actual people. It's a weird thing. And all three of us, we've been around celebrities to see them have to sign these autographs. And we're out trying to enjoy our celebrity friends, and we can't because people keep stopping them constantly.
I get it,
constantly. So wait, let me hold on. Let me respond to something that Lily said, and something Orlando's saying too. Orlando's saying, I get what Jen's saying, but with acting being a job, we all sometimes have to do some shit at work that we don't want to do. Here's the thing: as an actor, the job entails finishing the film project, and then promoting the film project. However, there's not a contract on earth that says whenever you got random people running up to you on a daily, you must sign an autograph. You must be in character, right? So I said I was going to present more evidence. So let's continue, shall we?
Exhibit B.
So this is the woman who was there walking up. Just so you know, the woman that said, would you take a photo with my grandson? That was the second woman that approached him for the same kid. So that was the second time he was being approached for the photo. Okay. If you notice in the beginning, she said, we saw you walk in over there, right? She went over there. She was like, well, I'm going to get that picture. Okay. So this woman says, don't get me wrong, I understand celebrities wanting their space, etc. But kids, every single time you are a superhero, sir, in the Marvel universe, right? So she just gave him, that's his whole identity now. Fuck that he's Anthony Mackie. Fuck that he's a man with feelings and emotions. No. Like Haran said, you are a superhero in the Marvel universe. That is your identity. I don't care that you acted. I don't care that you... I don't care that you played an alcoholic last week. I don't care that you play. I don't care that you played a regular doting father of a cancer kid last week. You are a Marvel superhero. You belong to the Marvel universe, dude.
Oh, yo, hey, well, right? on another take, motherfuckers thought Tupac is still a gangster, and the government killed him. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of grown folks who look at a lot of artists and look like who have a lot of entertainers, you know what I mean, in a particular deified light. So again, this is a child. Now, if it's a grown person, it's like, deal with it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But it's a kid. You're gonna take a picture with a kid. He doesn't see you as an actor. He sees you as a fucking as a black fucking superhero. He doesn't see you as an actor.
Yeah, but we're also, remember, we're just speculating up here. We don't know how old the kid was, or if the kid was like, there goes Captain America. Maybe he was 3 and his mama. Maybe he was 3 and his mama wanted a picture with Anthony Mackie.
That's leading to my next question. Like, if they were smart, right? If they knew what they was doing, they would send the kid up to get the autograph, which is making me think this kid was even old enough or even know who this man was. So that's making me think that too is a lot too
speculations. We're all
right.
Right.
And see, Miles makes a great point. That's a lesson in life. You know, you don't always get what you want. You learn, you know, as a kid, you're going to learn that not everybody's that you hear. You don't always want to meet your heroes. So, you know,
now that is something.
Yeah, no saying. Like I tell black people all the time, and you always what they want.
So this woman goes on to say, then my mother's friend was, these are her words, I'm reading verbatim. Okay, this is her story. She was there. Then my mom's friend was like, I know he didn't say no. Let me take him back over there. Which is the video y'all all saw. My 11-year-old son happened to be recording out of excitement. That's how we got this video that we just viewed. Okay. They were already recording him. They were already recording him, okay? Which to me is a violation.
That's abrasive.
Okay? Okay? My 11-year-old son happened to be recording him out of excitement. Imagine your hero from New Orleans also doing that. So do you see the entitlement? I know he ain't say no. I'm gonna go get that picture. And then if you see when she walks up to him, let me play this heifer the fuck again. Look at her demeanor.
And that you just you were having at the game. Did you please take a picture with my grandson? I was raising
But you cannot. I can't. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. So you cannot do your now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wow.
Free Anthony Mackie. Fuck y'all.
Free Anthony Mackie. Restore his good name.
Man, look, listen, man. At the end of the day, I done seen white men lose their goddamn mind over fucking, you know what I mean, sports figures, so on and so forth. I saw a motherfucker get literally disrespected by Charles Oakley in the street. You know what I mean? Like vehemently disrespected by dude. And you know, it is what it is. Now they're grown people, they're gonna have to eat that. But I will say this: if they were being like just abrasive with the dude, that's a different thing. Now, if they kindly went up to the guy, blah blah blah, and he said no, then it is what it is. I still stand where I stand with it. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think he needs to be badgered to do it. I'm just saying, like, yo, at that particular time, you spent all this time wanting to have this moment and telling people you wanted to have this moment, and when you got the moment, you're like, nah, I'm good. No autographs. Wow.
Yeah, but who said? But who said that's his stance? Who said that's Anthony Mackie's stance? He was on his cell phone when the lady approached him for the second time. The big mama. She was like, I know he didn't say no. I'm gonna go back over there. I'm taking him back over there. Right? She was like, oh, I can get it done. I can get it done.
I don't know.
Huh?
Cell phone. It looked like he was rolling weed. He was on a cell phone.
He was on his cell phone. He had a cigar, and then he was on his cell phone. Okay. We don't. Here's what bothers me the most. We don't know what he was doing or what mind frame he was in. He could have been arguing with his bitch. She could have just told him, "I'm fucking." He was on his phone smoking.
I didn't catch the cell phone thing, y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all when the people come up to me and I'm on my phone, it is an annoyance.
It
I don't
is
know why
same.
that drives me nuts because it's like you don't know with this conversation. I could be in the middle of, a fisticuff with somebody, and like when people are on the phone, leave them alone. You don't know where they're at in that particular conversation. Somebody could have just died. They could be arguing with their spouse or whatever. That is so rude to me. It drives me nuts.
So did you
So I
see,
didn't catch
but did
that.
you see her demeanor was like, so you cannot and you will not. Who the
Yeah,
fuck do you think you are? If I was there and I was this woman, I would have been like, I suggest you about face, lady. Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, that pisses me off on just like on a personal level because I don't like when I'm approached like that. Don't approach me like that. I don't care who you are, where you've seen me. Do not approach me like that. And this is not the first, but the second time they approached him. Obviously, he said no the first time.
yeah.
And we don't know why he said no. Now, maybe on another day, if there's a kid, maybe he will be like, hey, shorty, you know what I mean? But we don't know. That's
No,
the
we don't
thing.
know, and it's none of
We
our
don't
business.
know.
The thing is, you now knowing a little bit more to the backstory, knowing that he was approached the first time, you can see that this was the second time in both of their body language. You could see that she
Yes.
was like, the people, and you could see he's like, ma'am, I'm trying to be nice.
Right.
Okay.
That's how he looked. Absolutely not. Thank you, though. Absolutely. Oh, so you cannot and you will not. He already said that.
Right.
He already said that. So she was doing the like, oh, like you're going to be in trouble if you don't. So you cannot and you will not. It reminds me of Marshawn Lynch, the football player. He was coaching the little kids' football, right? He was yelling at the little kids. These Karens start pulling out their phones. Why are you talking? Marshawn Lynch ran up in the stands and went into, you could Google it. He went like this into the woman's phone. Go ahead, get me, record me so you can see what I'm saying. Okay. This is how I'm talking to the kids. You got me? You got the camera on me? This is how I'm talking to the kids. But whoever doesn't like it, feel free to remove your children from this whatever session or whatever. He's Marshawn Lynch. Bitches, y'all ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You want Josh and Johnny to be coached by Marshawn Lynch, right? But he went up to the camera, right? Since you want to record me. So we just don't know, and that's my thing. That's my thing. We just don't know. And we've all been in that situation where we've been harassed or approached. All of us, everybody has gone through that. I don't know why when it comes to celebrities, people feel like they're public property. When, if you think about it, a celebrity is probably going through more shit than the average person.
Daryl, let's not do that. Do you think he would have turned down a white child? Let's not do that.
No, because like I said,
did you hear everything he was saying about all white staff? I think he would have turned down the white child too.
Right, I was about to say, and from what I gathered, the information I gathered by everybody's Anthony Mackie story, he's an equal opportunity no. Like the celebrities, the kids, the adults, the beef is the way he does it. They claim that he does it with an attitude, right? Mm-hmm. But he's an equal opportunity now.
And I've worked with actors like that. I've worked with actors that it's like, do not talk to me, and if you talk to me, address me by the role name, and they stay far away from everybody. They over and you can't talk to them till the director calls them out, right? I mean, that's what the trailers are for. So in this DM, this woman is like, he's an asshole. He acted an ass during Essence. And the girl replies, what he did, that's crazy. Who else in New Orleans knows, right? Laughing out loud. And then this woman replies, we were all in VIP and somebody asked him for a quick photo. Wasn't even crowded. Nobody even knew who he was. His response was absolutely not. Then my friend Brandy started going back and forth with him, and he was just rude as fuck. I don't know who he thinks he is. Why is your friend going back and forth? A no is a no. Why are you going back and forth? And again, we tell men all the time, when a woman says no, it's fucking no. They don't owe you an explanation. So
It's
it's
a complete
the same
sentence.
thing with right. Thank you. It's a complete no is no. I don't have to explain why. I don't have to tell you I'm arguing with my chick on the phone. I don't have to tell you I have a headache. I don't have to tell you I just got turned down for a job and I just got the news on the phone. I don't have to tell you my aunt just died. I don't have to tell you I found out I'm sick. I don't have to explain to you. A no is a no. Leave people the hell alone, whether you work next to them or whether you see them on TV. Leave people alone. I don't get it. Even if you saw them in a cape with red tights, leave them alone.
Right. Right.
Leave them alone.
Because here in New York, we see celebrities all the time. We leave them alone. We let them keep walking. We leave them alone.
Absolutely. C. Miles, I agree. He should be applauded for his polite restraint because he was still in my opinion, he was still polite. So I mean, this girl here says that one of her friends went back and forth with him. I don't understand why you would go back. I don't understand.
You don't know this man. He doesn't know you. What are we going? What is this?
He's there trying to enjoy the Essence Festival like everybody else, and she's gonna go back and forth with him because he won't take a picture. It's insane.
That sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. So that's that with Anthony Mackie. I wish him well. I wish him much success. Go do the damn thing. Don't take the damn pictures. There's a lot of weird people in Hollywood. There's a lot of people that are standoffish. He's not the only one. There's a lot of weird people in the arts.
A couple of my friends are like that. They're very much like that. They don't do it. They want to enjoy their time out with the people that they're out with. And I'm one of those people. I give it, whatever. But that's just my personality. But I don't hold no one else to my shit. Some people be like, oh, you're something. No. This is just my choice. Y'all do whatever the fuck y'all want to do, but I'm really big on choice. I'm really, really big on choice. And looking at that whole situation, it's very believable. It's believable either way, what they're saying about him and what they're saying about them. But looking at the further information and evidence, I can definitely see it happening the way we're speculating, with the one person going up, him being polite and saying no, them not taking no for the answer, and being passive aggressive with the second approach, and with the camera rolling,
right,
like, with the proof. Like, if you say no, you're on camera, and I'm going to post it as she did, right? So I can.
So you cannot and you will not. Bitch, I said no.
You got that? Okay.
So you cannot and you will not. In my opinion, you're already violating with recording. Like, that shit is. You saw what Bad Bunny did when that chick ran up to him. Like, look, he took her phone and chucked it into the fucking river. And people are like, he shouldn't have did that. I think she shouldn't have ran up in his face, recording him. Look, I'm with Bad Bunny. He was like, not tonight, bitch.
Jen, I've had people literally run up and hug me.
No.
Hug me. No hello. No tap on the shoulder, which is bad enough. A tap on the shoulder is bad enough.
Yes.
Right? But a whole hug from a stranger without a warning. Bitch, you about to be body slammed out here. Like,
I think it's only if you come to a point in your life, like Lily, like you're talking about, where you're on the other side, that you have an understanding. Because I mean, as far as like, people think they know, people think they know you, obviously, so they feel comfortable enough to hug you. And it reminds me, like, with what happened in this situation. I know Howard Stern talks all the time. He doesn't want to take. He's at dinner and people, can I take a and he doesn't do it. He said, it's not because it's because I don't like the way I look in photos. There's that element too. Like, I'm not saying that's his excuse, but some people don't want that whatever picture is gonna come out be posted all over Instagram. With your wandering eye or whatever, with your, so I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And again, yes, it seems like if to the person going up to you, giving you a hug or saying, hey, it seems like a small thing to that person, but this person is going through this constantly going through it. So, I mean, again, not everybody's like him. Some people will do it. Some people will be very kind. But it's not mandatory that you have to do it. It's a choice,
and, and I'm a big I do anything for the babies, for the kids. I am the kids, even if I'm tired, even if I'm like, oh my God, it's a little kid, anything for the babies. However, I could be having a bad day.
Exactly.
I could be having a bad day, right? There's the last thing I want to say on this. A lot of people are saying, if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't be X, Y, and Z, right? I hear that a lot. If it wasn't for us, now he's turning his back. I saw that all over the fucking comments. Here's the thing. He has a job. We have a job as entertainers. You pay for that entertainment. My job is done. My job is done. If Beyonce puts out an album, okay, she worked her ass off to put that album together. You gave her your money. Her job is done. You are paying to be entertained by people. You don't own the people after that. The job is done. That's a fair exchange. You give me $10 for this album. I give you the album. You went and you got what you want in your possession. I got what I want. I go my way. So I hate when people say, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't even be there. You volunteered your time and your money. You volunteered to go see that Marvel movie. Anthony Mackie's job is done. Everything is extra. Him having a great personality and being warm and welcome, that's extra. That's icing on the cake. But he doesn't have to do that, is my point. And I hate when people say, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be there. No one forced you to like that. We just saw that happen with Doja Cat. When one of her fans said, tell us you love us, Doja. And she said, I don't even fucking know y'all. I don't know you. And then she lost 500,000 fans.
I hate this. I'm with you on this. Football fan, basketball, whoever, fans tend to do that too. They wouldn't, if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be making these millions of dollars to kneel at our flag. Let me tell you something. It has nothing to do with you buying tickets. If it wasn't for Budweiser and if it wasn't for these multi-billion-dollar companies paying these multi-billion-dollar contracts to put them on TV, they wouldn't get paid. And, your little contribution to buying a ticket is a penny. And guess what? Those people worked to get on that field. So it has nothing to do with you. Those people worked to get in that movie. And if it wasn't for you, what do you mean? If it wasn't for you, there would be a different actor in there that you'd be supporting that might be a jerk. So it's not like you have almost no control. If it wasn't for the studios putting that person in there, they wouldn't make that money. So yeah, I'm with you on that. It's like people think they have so much power. Right. And there is a little bit there. I mean, you can boycott and put a hurt on the bottom line, but everybody comes back. We all know that.
Oh, people don't even know saying it's a different thing when it comes to entertainment. If people don't support a particular film, the film tanks, and most likely the franchise ends. So yeah, in that regard, the people, being involved in the brand, it is very important. You have what's his face? Oh, Jesus Christ, Jonathan Majors, him getting caught up with the law. There was talks of him basically being thrown out of the Marvel universe because it damages the Disney brand. There's money to be lost if he is involved in that. So let's not get too quick with that.
Well, I guess it can depend too, because we've seen the anti-Semite guy,
like Ezra Miller. I'm
talking about who's the guy?
Wait 1 second.
Mel Gibson.
He was the Flash. He got involved in all kinds of shit. This dude was kidnapping people, he was throwing them in trunks, he was breaking into people's houses. He wasn't even getting
breaking the law.
It's crazy. And he turned people off in the film, and the film tanked. So it does matter to some degree. But I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah. I guess it depends. Disney will put that. I'm sorry, Lily. Disney might do that to a certain extent on it's like their brand, almost like the NFL suspends people off their you got to protect the shield type thing. But then you got, like I said, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson can get away with anything almost, and he still gets in movies. So,
Miss Ruth, if you see us on tour on the Block with Jen tour, come and give me a big squishy hug. I ain't gonna have no problem with that. You can come. I'll take the picture with the kids. Because Heron love the kids, man. Heron ain't an asshole.
I think the block loves the kids. But so this is the thing. I guess the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids, animals, and everyone else who's listening, Chia Pets. The moral of the story is celebrities are people with a job. And when you see them in public, they're not working.
They're not working. It's like telling a comedian, say something funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel bad for something like what Heron's saying, like he's a superhero in this movie. I understand, and the reason I feel bad is because he's recognizable, right? I understand if he was in his uniform, his costume, and I could understand. Oh my God, But I mean, I get it because, like, when I was if I'm in my uniform, even when I was in my military uniform, I had to, I couldn't say certain things that I might be able to say if I'm not in that uniform. You do have to put on that. But he's not even in a uniform. He's in a Saints jersey. He looked like he's an average fan. I don't know.
And maybe this is like we always talk about with this generation doesn't have a sense of reality because we've did the participation trophy and we sheltered them from so many things, and they get out into the world and they just have this sense of entitlement. So maybe this is his crash course of knowing that celebrities are just people with jobs. Like, this was a teachable moment for the child, but instead she taught him something else. But but it was a teachable moment to just know that, hey, he's not entitled to give you this, blah blah blah, and break this whole thing down. So
yeah, I just, at first I was like, but then when I read, that was the second time, and she went over there like, I'll take him over there and get this picture. Watch this. No, bitch. You get your ass back where you came from.
Right.
Get your ass back over there.
That's when I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, because you got me repeating myself out this motherfucker now, girl.
Right. So you cannot and you will not. And he's still like, absolutely not. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I would have handled it the exact same way. Let's just say I was on the phone having some in-depth something and my emotions are up here.
Yeah.
This is not the time I want to take a picture with anyone, but I'm going to be nice about it. No, not right now. But you come back up to me, I'm going to feel away.
Right.
I'm going to feel away. I am, because is this the same bitch I just told? No. Like,
you heard her. We seen you over there when you came in. Like, what is this? Like, let me watch the fucking game. Get out of here. But so this is a great segue. Interestingly enough, Heron is on Jay's side, and I think it's the same shit, okay? So tonight's main topic, billionaire Jay-Z suggests he wouldn't loan his cousin $4,800, and it shocks fans. Let's hear what Jay had to say exactly, so we don't have to paraphrase. This is exactly what Jay said.
Go home for Thanksgiving, and people are talking to you like Kevin Hart. And you going home for solace. You want family.
You're going home for peace of mind.
You're going home for peace of mind.
And they don't give you that.
And your cousins in your grandma's living room saying, "Yo, man, I got this play. I wanna, if you just give me, you know what I mean, 4,800, I could make you $2 million." You like, it don't work like that, man. But you got to explain to him like, life isn't like that. Money isn't free, and no one's giving out opportunities. If it sounds too good to be true, it's really. And then he like, "Oh, you don't believe in my dreams." Kev acting funny because blah blah blah. You have to navigate that.
He's always funny. You gotta say him like that. He was like, "B, why is he asking for 4,800? I'm just trying to sit here and have my turkey. Yo, I'm not interested. Fall back." He does that stupid laugh and shit. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so anyone looking would look at this the same way you looked at Anthony Mackie. Have this. Yes.
Actually, no, there's people.
Yes.
I've seen people who I saw this on Twitter, and a gang of people said that he should have gave his cousin the money. That's what
I was about to say.
I don't think he should have gave his cousin the
money. But so then that's hypocritical. Why shouldn't he give him the money? He's a celebrity with privilege.
No.
Why shouldn't he's a billionaire?
There's two reasons. It's two reasons.
Okay, explain that. Why does Anthony Mackie have to give a photo, but this fucking billionaire can't afford $4,800 for his blood relative? Explain that for the people.
Well, I will explain it if you give me a moment, madam. Thank you. First of all, the first instance, it's a child and it's free. I mean, like, come on, it costs you like 5 seconds of your time. You don't want it? Cool. This shit right here, I don't know. And plus $4,800. Why are you asking me for such a specific number? That sounds fishy off the hand. If I went to you and Jen and say, hey, Jen, I got this play I'm trying to do. I need $4,896.95. Do you happen to have that on you? It just sounds kind of fishy. Like, why do you need, like, it's just going in. It sounds crazy. Why don't you give me a round number? And first of all, do you have a business plan? Do you have a vision? Do you have something going on? Do you have an example of a prototype? Or do you have a drawing, something? Or are you just asking me for $4,800? And are you even telling me when I'm going to get that $4,800 back? Are we talking business or you just want some fucking money? Now, if we're just doing it like that, just say, hey, man, I need $4,800. I'm most likely never going to give you this back. I'm not going to give you this bullshit like I need a business, because you and I both know I don't know shit about business. I just got lucky over the fact that we're related, and I just need $4,800. Now, the fact that his cousin showed up asking for that money, obviously no business plan, no vision, and so on and so forth. The moment he writes the check, he'll never get rid of that motherfucker. Because that $4,800 is going to turn into $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And the moment he stops giving that motherfucker money, then he's a piece of shit. So there's money involved in that.
Wait. The moment he doesn't give him that money, he's a piece of shit?
Yeah, because he didn't give him the money.
Okay, so you mean like a celebrity not wanting to take a picture? All of a sudden, he's an asshole.
No, I said Anthony Mackie.
Right.
About Anthony Mackie.
Okay, specifically Anthony Mackie, but we are still talking about entitlement. We are still talking about entitlement.
Well, Anthony Mackie behaved with entitlement prior to actually getting his promotion.
No. Let's talk about exactly what happened. We're not talking about Anthony Mackie's entitlement. No, he worked for that though. Anthony Mackie was working for his position. He worked for that. Entitlement. No. Entitlement is he didn't get lucky. He worked for it. No, that's not how Hollywood works, especially Marvel. Marvel doesn't work that way. He didn't get lucky. He did not get lucky. That's not how Marvel works. You don't get a Marvel gig out of luck. That's not how it works.
I'm talking about his promotion.
Okay. However, but we're talking about people versus celebrities. The woman wanting the picture was behaving entitled.
Yeah, she was behaving very abrasive.
Okay. The cousin is also entitled.
Well, he is behaving in a particular manner, but there's also money involved. So
it's the same thing. Entitlement is entitlement. Whether you want
life is filled with grays and so on and so forth.
Yes, it is, but entitlement is entitlement.
Life is filled with grays. In this particular situation, this is a grown person. If they have an idea, at the very least, show up with a prototype.
But now we're talking semantics. I'm just talking entitlement. That is semantics.
Jay,
it is.
If I came to you with a business idea, Jay, you would expect some form of at least prototype. Plan.
But here's the thing: if I say no to you, you can easily go away and say she's a bitch, and you would be what? And you would be what?
I wouldn't do that.
I'm talking in general, and you would be what if you did that? You would be acting entitled to my money, which is what Jay was saying. Jay was like, you have to navigate that, because if you say no, he's going to be like, oh, you don't believe in what I'm saying. I'm just talking about entitlement. I'm not talking about the semantics. I'm talking about entitlement.
Now, here's where hypocrisy comes in. We got people in the chat now talking about he should have got the band. But a minute ago, you just said that the kid couldn't get a fucking a photograph.
Okay, so where where that's coming from is because they're looking at Jay as a billionaire, right? Um, and you notice like when it comes to like a black billionaire, right? Every time something happens, right? Somebody, you're looking at the news and there's a water main break out in the corner of Main Street. They're like, well, Oprah live in that same country. I don't know why she ain't paying for the water main break and she got enough money. They do that all the time with black celebrities. Now, I'm going to say this particular story triggers the fuck out of me. And I'm going to tell you why. When I started to rise up in the modeling world and become more visible, the amount of people who stayed in my freaking DM who didn't have shit to do with me on the ride up was astounding. And it was just like, oh, you all have no shame. And I have a story where a lady reached out to me because it got to the point I was leaving everyone on red. I had a lady reach out to me. Mind you, let me give you the backstory of how I know this lady. I know of her. We've never broke bread. We've never talked on the phone. We've never went shoe shopping. Okay. She inboxes me like everyone else. She asked for the money. Of course, they always want to borrow some shit. And I left her on red and she cussed me the fuck out and blocked me. Right. And this is normal behavior. And so I was talking to another friend of mine that's a way bigger public figure. And I was like, does this happen to you? And they were like, no, not really. But I noticed with a lot of my black celebrity friends, they all complain about this. So this is definitely a race specific situation. Now, my family doesn't do this to me, but I've had this exact same situation so many times, too many times to count. And Jay is right. It's like if you say yes, what's going to happen is whether you give them $5 or whether you give them 5,000, they're coming back. They're coming back. It's going to be a religious thing. They are coming back and they're going to have another good story for you. They're going to tell you about the kid that burnt in a fire 3 years ago. Like they're going to tell you something, right? But if you say no, then yes, they're going to spread the news that you're the worst person ever. So you just got to learn how to just be like, kind of like how dude is with the picture thing. Like, no, fuck all y'all. No to everyone.
So I feel the way Haran feels about Anthony Mackie. That's how I feel about Jay-Z. I think he's full of shit, and here's why. You are a fucking billionaire. Okay. Now, if you were a billionaire who complete miser, frugal, you're not spending nothing on nothing, right? Then I completely understand. You'd have the reputation of, oh, that motherfucker's cheap. He ain't spending nothing on nothing, like a lot of white billionaires do. And we all have millionaire friends. Are they not the most frugal motherfuckers you've cheap. Ever met, Lily?
I mean, that's the reason why they got billions.
Yeah, they are cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had my millionaire friends in New York City, one specifically, right? I'm thinking, hey, he's going to get the fucking town car. He was like, oh, I want to get on the subway. I was like, motherfucker, I live on the subway. I want to get on the subway. I think it'd be nostalgic. Bitch, what? We got on the fucking subway. People were like, oh my God, it's so-and-so. I was like, you wanted to get on the fucking subway. Now we're on the subway. I hope you're happy. Right?
No, that's crazy.
So this is why I say Jay's full of shit. Because he's made millions for people that are already millionaires. Jay-Z has made millions for people that were already millionaires just promoting their shit, because that's what rappers do. If Jay says he drinks this, all the minions go out and drink that. If Jay says he got on Versace, Gucci slides, everybody runs out and gets that. But you can't break your cousin off fucking $4,800. You probably wipe your ass with that money. That's probably money that you use to, like, I don't know, buy fucking donuts. You're a billionaire. You're a fucking billionaire. So no, I didn't even if the cousin does come back like, oh, you got another $5,000. I'm a fucking billionaire. Get the fuck out of here. $5,000. That's what I spent on my Gucci socks. Here you go. Take the $5,000. You're a fucking billionaire with the potential to make more billions. I think Jay is full of shit. I think all the vitriol that Anthony Mackie was getting, that should go to somebody like fucking Jay-Z, who's a fucking billionaire and has made many a white man millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's my stance. With that said, let me read something to you. You guys probably know this already, but you probably don't. George Clooney, about to appear in the space thriller Gravity, when he came up with a huge way to thank his 14 closest friends. Not 4. 14 closest friends for their support throughout all his years. Guess what he gave them? $1 million each in a fucking suitcase.
Okay.
14 of his closest friends that supported him throughout the fucking years. $1 million each to the 14 friends. And yo bitch ass sitting there, a billionaire, after you'd have made all these white people wealthy, and you can't break your cousin off $4,800?
Why? Because he's his cousin. Did his cousin support him?
And
He said his closest friends who supported him.
He's listen. He said, I went back home. Now I'm gonna use your logic. Why the fuck are you going back home around broke people and as a billionaire to have some fucking turkey?
That was
in Brooklyn.
In
Brooklyn.
Right. I was asking that question. I was like, what the fuck was you doing in the first place?
Okay, because if I was a billionaire, how the fuck I look going back to the Bronx, sitting in my aunt's fucking 2-bedroom apartment in the project saying, hey, auntie, I'm here because I want to feel close to home. Can I have some turkey? I'm flying everybody out to my fucking mansion. We're doing Thanksgiving different. I don't celebrate none of that shit. You motherfuckers do. I'll do it this year for y'all. Past this, I'm not going to do it because I don't do holidays. I'm flying all the motherfuckers out. How I look as a billionaire pulling up with my security, sitting in my mama's kitchen in a fucking 2-bedroom apartment. Hey, ma, you still got that turkey I like? You're an asshole. That's an asshole. That's an asshole.
How's an asshole?
So let me say this. Do you think
like, no, I'm good.
Do you think that there is an element of him getting sick of being treated like the money bag everywhere he goes? Do you think that it's just a principle of it? It's like, yeah, I got it, but I'm sick of people treating me like, hi, you got some money? Hey, you got some money? Do you think it's an element of that?
Perhaps, but that's your job now, bitch. That's where you
listen. From what he
That's your position. That's your position. Listen, I say this. Listen, I used to say this about relationships, okay? How the fuck, if let's say you're married to or in a relationship with a fucking butcher, bitch, I want steak in this bitch. Every fucking time I see your fucking face, you're a butcher. You want head every time you see my face, don't you, bitch?
Look, I got a friend of mine, okay, who maybe word got around that, I'm doing okay for myself.
Let me hold something, Mara. Let me hold something.
Shit,
can I hold something?
Give me a call.
I'm about to ask you if I can hold something in a couple of months.
See, I got you, though. I'm on that George Clooney shit. I got you, though.
I'll hold something in about a few months.
And I'll take a picture with you, sign autographs, whatever you need. The fuck?
Anyway, homie asked me for like $400. And I was like, all right, man, I'm going to give it to you. No problem. You know what I'm saying?
Borrowed or like borrowed?
These is hood niggas.
Okay.
I gave him the money. Okay? I know what it is. I've known him for 20 years. I gave him the bread. He kept saying, yo, son, but to his credit, I told him, you ain't got to give it to me. I know whatever, just take it. Boom. To his credit, he said, Joe H, DeMarco, I'm going to give you the bread back, blah, 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 with interest. All right, whatever. 2 months later, he gives me the bread back with interest.
Okay.
I say, okay, my dude. He gets into another situation. He asks us for money. I'm like, oh, the fuck. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm like, At the time, the price he was asking for, the shit went up. I'm like, what the fuck? Inflation is a motherfucker. But you know what I mean? I was like, I can't let you hold that right now, bro. Sit tight. Maybe in a couple of while. He went to another friend of ours, hits them with a cockamamie story, talking about he's dying from testicular cancer.
Oh, he put his balls on the line for this story?
Literally.
Oh.
Literally. Said he's
Foul
dying
on the play.
Right.
testicular cancer. And I'm like, she was like, hey, you spoke to such and such? She's like, yeah, I spoke to him, blah, blah, blah. She was like, she gave me the play. I'm like, what? This nigga don't die from no this. She manages to speak with his wife. She's like, girl, that motherfucker's a habitual lie. This is why we getting divorced. You know what I mean? That motherfucker ain't dying from no testicular cancer. You know what I mean? He up in the hospital and all. I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is why these situations get so dicey and sensitive. Because these motherfuckers it's always some highway cockamamie stories, some shit like that. You don't know what to fucking believe. So when it comes to situation that Jay's talking about, I have that kind of bias where it's just like,
okay, you know
best,
what?
Say one thing quickly, Lee. At best, look, just come to him. If he came,
Your
to
mic,
him,
no saying your mic until you talk.
If he came to him again with a business plan or sales projections showing that he was making some money without him, whatever, even ask him for business advice or whatever, I could understand and so on and so. Show something. You just showing up and like, yo, son, I need like
Haran, it was Thanksgiving. That motherfucker should have walked through the door with 10 racks for every relative in that fucking Brooklyn apartment. He should have walked in with 10 racks. You get 10, you get 10, you get 10, you get 10. Why? Because I'm a billionaire.
Listen, I'm gonna say this because I failed to leave this out, and I didn't leave this out of the last story.
Really quickly, let me just say thank you, Big Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg. Always good to see you, sir. Hope you are well. Thank you for supporting the channel. Lily, what were you saying?
Okay, so if you put up James Oko's last comment, it has to do with that because just like Mackie, I have been hearing forever about how cheap, selfish, and asshole Jay is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Memphis Bleak did tell this story recently about the Beyonce tickets, and his response is like, what the fuck, am I a ticket guy now? Right? And from what I hear, like, this is typical Jay-Z from what I've heard throughout the years. So to your point, Jen, about the asshole thing, I believe that is plausible based off of the stories that I've heard throughout like, when I say everyone, 3 words come up all the time: selfish, asshole, cheap. They like to the point where they're like, yeah, he's a billionaire, but he's not gonna leave a red penny on the table, him and his wife. So there is an element of that.
I'm cut different, man. I'm like, there's I don't know. I take joy in being the plug. I take joy in being the plug. I really fucking do. Like it turns me on. If I have access to something and my friends are like, yo, I heard you know such and such, can I do X, Y, and Z? I'll be like, I see what I could do. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. And then being a billionaire, like I could totally, I promise you, on everything I know and love, I could relate to what George Clooney did. I'm worth 500 mil. You get a mil. You get. I don't give a. This is just money. I can't die with it.
I already got a list.
And they're like tattoos, are they not, Lily? They're like tattoos. They're forever. Yep. They are forever. And it's like, you know, and especially if I'm the type of celebrity that's in a position where I can make a phone call, connect with a brand, and I got 5 more million in my account, like this, because, you know what I mean? I'm the it girl. Easy. $1 million to 14 friends.
Yeah, I have a list of people that when I get to he's got it. Once I get to a certain level, with certain people, they good. Because they like George. There's people that's like picked me up and carried me parts of the way when I was just like, fuck all this, I don't want to do it anymore. Right. So
I want to get in. It's funny because what I read is I thought when I read it that he has to borrow $4,800, and that clip sounded like he wanted $4,800, and it almost sounded like he was going to invest it in like Mooncoin or something like that. Like
It was for a play. It was for a play.
Okay, it was for a play. The way it sounded like it was a scheme that he had this real, it's going to make $1 million if he could just get that 4,800 and then you can buy that cryptocurrency. But man, if it were Christmas, he would probably come in with, I would hope he'd come in with some money for presents. I don't know. Yeah, but it depends on how close he is to this cousin too. I've got cousins that I barely know, and if they showed up, and I've got, suddenly I won the lottery and I've got, $400 million. I don't know if I'd give them money just because they're my cousins. I barely know them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It really depends on how close. But from what you guys are saying, he's very tight. It's kind of funny what you're saying, because that can play both ways too. When you're tight like that and you're famous, because again, I'll bring up Howard Stern. He over-tips because he doesn't want people to put that stereotype on him. Oh. Like if I don't do this, people are going to write, he's cheap, Plus, he's Jewish too. So he feels the pressure to over-tip or give big gifts. It's kind of funny it works that way. But no, I mean, if he's just I get it. I don't think any of us know what it feels like to have $1 billion. And I'm sure if we did have $1 billion, that we would give money to our family and, and be generous with it. So it is weird that $4,800, like everybody says, well, that's probably like $20 or $10 to someone like us, Yeah.
See, I'm kind of an asshole.
I can only wonder that how close was this cousin?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm kind of an asshole. Like everybody ain't getting it. Everybody ain't getting it. I got a big family.
No, Lily, I'm with you. I'm with you. Everybody's not getting it. Of course not.
How cool? And that's my point. Like, what's the relationship between him and that cousin? Are we just basing it off the fact of the lineage? They're related.
I wasn't basing it. I wasn't basing it off that. I was just basing it off the way he explained money. I was because he could have said my friend asked me for 4,800, but I'm with Lily. I'm like, look, there are friends that I'm gonna do for, and there are relatives I would never do for. So don't fucking call me, bitch, because I know y'all are watching. All right. So I understand. I completely understand. Right. Like don't get it twisted. Yo, and it be the littlest things. I posted a page. All I did was interview Big Daddy Kane. That's all I did. All of a sudden, people are DMing me.
Oh, same thing with me, Jen.
All of a sudden, I'm like, all I did was interview Big Daddy Kane. People did. Oh, when I'm out in Vegas, I'm like, if y'all starstruck about that, where I'm headed, sucky. You motherfuckers gonna be sick.
So listen, that's the thing. People started showing their hand before the money started coming in, just based off of perception, right? Like I'm doing these things. Because we all know you get the notoriety before you get the money most of the time, right? Yes. So the notoriety came. I was getting in this magazine, that magazine, and people started showing their hand real early. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm glad you're showing your shit early, because when the money comes, you'll already be gone, So yeah, people are real, because they did it to me through your Kane interview. And what tripped me out was, oh yes, Jen, it's a lot I don't even bring to your way because it's so stupid. Because I'm so used to it at this point. It's like I'm so freaking used to this dumbness. But and let me tell you about the shameless part that I'm always talking about. These people are shameless. Some of the people who came to me all of a sudden so interested in On the Block with Jen are the same people who left me on red when I sent them episodes of the fucking show. Fuck you, if you're watching.
Listen here. I had someone specifically, and I don't give a damn if he's watching, but literally DM me and was like, yo, I'm doing an indie film. I see you know Kane. Can you delete, block, goodbye, fuck off. Stop being weird.
You're being weird, bro. You're being weird.
You're being fucking
weird, bro.
You're being fucking weird. And people don't understand that you're also hustling, you're also setting up certain deals. They don't know what capacity you know this person or how you're working with them, or if you know what I mean, what you're doing with this person. So it's like you can't just like, oh hey, you get a celebrity friend, you get a celebrity. Like, let me get my fucking foot. And as like you said, Lily, like you really do get noticed before the big checks start coming in. You be hella noted, recognizable. Don't think that because you see me there and there and there, the money's coming in, bitch. Like, give me a couple years, like you gave every other fucking celebrity you sucking. All right, every celebrity you sucking took them about a good decade to get to where they were at. You gonna give me the same grace period, okay? Right. But it's weird. It's the littlest. It'll be the littlest thing. So you know, I understand the whole celebrity thing constantly being approached, but I think there's code. There's just certain things you do. If you're the type of person that I'm not breaking you off 4,800. And I can tell, of course, Jay-Z, someone said something interesting in the chat. They said maybe he was putting that story out there to send a message to his relatives, right? Like, don't be asking me for shit because this is how I feel about it. I get that. However, there's a code. If you know you're cheap as fuck, don't go back to Brooklyn and sit at your auntie's table and have her fucking dry as turkey because you want a sense of being back home. Don't do that shit. Don't do that. You know the cousins are going to be there. A billionaire just walked in the door. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
That's a whole lick just walked through the door. You ain't little JJ. You ain't little Sean Carter no more. You use a whole lick. Sorry. That's it.
You ain't cousin Camel no more, okay? You ain't the ugly cousin. You ain't the funny looking cousin.
Absolutely. And it goes back to what I've always said. Your family and friends will be the last people to see you as the professional that you are. But when they do. The sense of entitlement comes out. You like, hold up. I've been trying to get you to come to my play for 14 years. Been trying to get you to buy my little soap that I make that got the lavender petals in it. Like, what the fuck?
Did you go to Tubi, bitch? Did you go to Tubi, bitch? When I was telling you to fucking go to Tubi, did you fucking go?
You're like, damn.
Didn't even go to Tubi.
You didn't even fucking go to Tubi, bitch.
You didn't go to Tubi.
And you want $4,800 now.
Go to Tubi, you didn't even have to watch the whole movie, man. You
didn't even have to watch the whole fucking movie.
I put those lavender petals in that soap by hand.
Shit. The fuck? One little piece of soap they could have bought. You needed it. Listen, my niece started a little candle company. I done bought 3 fucking little candles.
Right.
From her.
Right. They can't buy a candle. All but let your ass pop up on TV.
Shit.
You gonna give me some tickets to such and such?
No. I'm the ticket guy now.
Exactly. I'm the ticket guy
now.
Lord.
No, but again, I got to salute to George Clooney. That was some real gangster shit, man. That was
worth $500 million. I did not know this man was worth $500 million. God damn. The movies weren't that great. He had to be into something else.
I was surprised too. I was like, George Clooney?
Something else.
A good investment.
Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, Tyrone. He said, "Hey, yo, that movie was good, low key." Thank you. I don't got $4,800 for you, but thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Salute, sir. Thank you for taking the time.
Right. Thank you.
I got you on the back end. But
right.
I could get you in the movie. I
got some soap, Tyrone.
You come up to the premiere. I recognize every Letterman. He's good. He's good.
Done, man. That's how business is done.
He watched the Tubi.
Right. See, now you gave tickets to the meetup or something. I don't know.
I was so dedicated. I was watching a movie that you weren't even in, thinking it was that movie. I'm trying to
get back, no saying.
It had a similar title. I'm like, this movie is awful. I was thinking about
the first one. Was it the first one?
No, not your movie. Whatever movie I was watching, I'm like, this is really bad. The actors and I was like, where's Jen in this? Because these actresses are bad, And then I'm like going through. I'm like, wait. I had to go look at it. I was like, oh, it's not even the right movie. Okay.
Yeah,
and I went
that's
to find your movie.
Can't get that time back. It will not be refunded. Nope.
The thing about those Tubi movies is that I'm always on set. It'd be like 3 or 4 chicks that used to strip, and then me,
Right.
and then the actor. It's like, okay, and then you got to wait for the director to finish doing the zoom in, the pan in on their asses. You know what I mean? The camera's always down here on a Tubi movie. It's never up here. It's always down here.
So I'm so glad that Daryl Allen brought. I'm glad he brought this up.
Haran, I gotta say my lines like this.
Act like BBL girls with the selfie. So I'm glad Daryl brought this up. He said, okay, so I have fluff about this tomorrow. I wanted to get more sources. I wanted to be able to cite my sources. So basically, yes, he owns Casamigos, right? Mm-hmm. But Diddy has been cosplaying that he owns Casamigos, but now he's whining and crying racism because the checks ain't right. Mm-hmm. Because really, in reality, he's been basically a fucking influencer.
No, the same thing with Ciroc. That's what I'm
talking about. Yeah, Ciroc and the other one with the Deleon.
Yeah,
he's been an influencer. That's it.
Yep.
And
he got kicked to the curb, and he's saying if it wasn't for me, Ciroc, and he's right. He was a great brand ambassador. He was a great brand ambassador, and now, the alcohol company is like, next.
It's business.
And you know what? Really quickly, Ron, you know what? I find the timing of this rather interesting.
Hello. I said the same thing. I said the pullback is happening.
The pullback is happening.
People are disassociated.
Because you notice with Diddy, his name is starting to come up in not only sexual scandals, but the crime with Tupac. So I find it very interesting that the Ciroc company was like, we don't need you anymore. I got a Caesar. I don't need you. Very, very interesting.
Very.
Talks in the higher rooms that we don't have access to.
There's some things coming down the pipe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you tend to call it the Illuminati or whatever the hell you call it by the week. Whatever, but to your credit, yes,
this week
where certain decisions are made, you know what I mean, that are beyond your pay grade. Ironically enough, it's called the room, it's called the CEO lounge or the executive suite in your office. Everywhere you go, there's a room where you're not privy to that decisions are particularly made. And
Illuminati, come get me. I got a couple cousins I'd sacrifice. Holla at your girl.
And listen, I'll take the Knights Templar if you all like. Have me.
But in many ways, I think Jay, though, in many ways, we forget Jay is
Boulay.
Jay is very much a very high, very well-paid employee. He ain't really own nothing.
You know what? It's like those. Do you guys remember the movie Training Day when they were having that conversation about Alonzo? That's how it probably went down with Diddy. Like, what are we gonna? Yes, like what are we gonna do about him? Because this and this is coming down the pipeline. Mm-hmm. What are we gonna do?
What use does he serve? Like, what is? It's not like in our heyday when it was like, you know, he obviously serves some sort of purpose. I don't understand the purpose that he serves right now. Like,
I think he wore out his welcome, and I think and his time. I think that's why he was trying to hold on to that city girl.
Like that Sukiana, whatever.
His time has passed. Like he's a mogul. He's one of the vets. You know what I mean? He's done a lot for the industry, but it's like these people, you know what I mean? They're looking for that new younger fish who's going to relate to, you know what I mean? And even with him fucking with that city girl, these young kids don't give a damn about it, Diddy.
They don't
give a damn about it, Diddy.
You some old uncle, bro.
Yes, he's an old head. And a creepy one. He's become a quite creepy uncle.
He's giving me the old man in the club. The creepy old man in the club is every time I see him, that's all I get creeped out. I'm just like, why does your face look like that? Your face looks weird. Like it looks like you're desperate for your youth at this point. Like there's a difference between being youthful and acting young.
Yes.
two different things. One is so pathetic, and one is goals, right? Which you've always want to remain youthful, right? He
Right.
doesn't give me youthful. He gives me someone who's desperate, right? It looks really, really bad.
Like
But
Lenny Kravitz is an example of
oh,
youthful.
perfect
Oh,
example.
perfect.
Perfect
Perfect.
example.
Example of
But
that.
so,
I'd
are
hit.
you all familiar with Amp Radio?
What happened?
No.
Okay, so Amp Radio is another place that they started to try to build their radio by bringing on a bunch of celebrities
Mhm.
to influence for this particular, like to try to drive traffic. Nicki Minaj moved Queen Radio over there.
Mm-mm.
Quite a few celebrities did. And then like the smaller celebrity was like Jason Lee, but there were bigger celebrities like Jason Lee was like the smaller one. It tanked, okay, because these celebrities don't have the pull that they once did, right? Like they're better off paying a micro or mid influencer these days off of a TikTok to come promote their radio,
Yep.
whatever. They're still like archaic, but I think part of it's that too. They know that people aren't really checking for celebrities like they once did. Like
They're not.
if you saw how they were acting, how people were acting when the strike came, they were like, "We don't give a fuck. You all have been, you got it. Y'all been telling us I got it this whole time. You got it. So what we supposed to like, baby? I'm trying to figure out
The
how to.
new listen, it's like you know how Bollywood, Nollywood, Nigerian
Yep.
Hollywood. Now it's like internet wood is the new Hollywood. Internet, it's the new Hollywood. It's the TikTok, it's the Instagram, it's the YouTube. This
Yep.
is the new Hollywood. Y'all better get it now. This is the new Hollywood, whether we
Feel
like
more
it or
for
not.
influencer than they feel for these Hollywood, folks. Like if an influencer died or something like that, these kids are like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Look at the influencer that said, "I'm giving out PlayStations." He started mayhem on 14th Street in New York City.
Yeah,
Mayhem.
Now the controls for someone to be famous are a lot larger, and it's and you might not make. I mean, some of these people are making a lot of money, but you don't have to make a lot of money, and you can still be well known on the internet.
Most of them have no money.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, it is kind of interesting. Fame has become the price for fame to become famous has come way down. It's no longer micromanaged, or talent. But I'm just saying, it's no longer managed by big corporations any longer. I mean, other than you have to go through YouTube and things like that and TikTok. But I'm just saying, like, you can be famous for, having a YouTube channel or doing this, doing that. And yeah, it's kind of worldwide famous too.
Right.
It's global. And Diddy is just creepy. He's calling other adult males daddy. 50 Cent is like, I don't go to Diddy parties because they hug you from the front and the back. Like people now he's like that corny uncle where everybody's reading him. He's not like that, you know what I mean? That suited up. He's just not. He's not the Diddy of our day.
No, and I really wish he would have just played a better position. Let me see.
There you go, Diddy.
So you gotta without
that. Hey girl.
No. No, thank you.
Come see Uncle Diddy.
But it's the same thing with Irv Gotti. He didn't know when to bow out. And then he became just a caricature.
Oh my God, gross.
You know what I mean? You're on Drink Champs, you're slobbering all over your fucking self.
Sweating
and calling people pussy, and motherfuckers don't know what it is. And Irving, you come from a middle-class home in Hollis.
Right.
You never were this guy.
Your last name is not Gotti.
Exactly. And, it's weird to see this. And it's like we had this conversation. We shared this. So many of our friends just never turned the corner.
Right.
And we're seeing a number of people in the industry who never turned the corner and from our day. And it's sad to see because it's like, bro, this is not popping anymore. It's not, you talking about Clue tapes. You talking about life when Clue tapes was popping. Like, these kids don't even have cassettes anymore. Like, what are you talking about? Never seen one. I gave a cassette to the kid one day and she was like, "What the hell is this?" She was like, "What's this, Daddy?" And I'm like, I don't even know how to explain to you what this is. I got to explain to you what it goes in, and then I got to explain to you what that is. So it's just like I was just like,
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Gabby keeps his pills in there. You know what I mean?
Listen, oh well, this was a good one, funny as hell. Again, I say free Anthony Mackie.
Oh, I think about this. I think about this, Miss Ruth. She said makes you wonder if the old Hollywood studio days when they controlled the actors and had fixers to hide their mess up was a good idea. I think about this a lot. Exactly.
Obviously.
I'm like, damn, can we get the gatekeepers and the fixers back? Because I don't want to see certain people in certain conditions. Like, you know, they used to be like we now hear stories about Whitney Houston was passed out of an overdose on Waiting to Exhale set. That wasn't getting out in 1996, 1997, right? And we was able to enjoy her art up until the days where that shit started. Now, when people started oversharing, and then reality shows came out,
and they got way too comfortable.
Yep.
Sharing too much. Because I'm telling you, I used to love. I'm talking about on rotation, well into my 30s. Sweet Lady and How You Gonna Act Like That. Love. I mean, some of my favorite music, and I'm telling you, I cannot. And I tried. It's not like I didn't try. Now, when I hear Tyrese's music, I cringe. It disgusts me because I'm like, I just hear him whining and acting stupid on Instagram. The oversharing. Now we know how and who these people are. There's no mystery to them, and I'm like, oh, you're like an idiot. Like you got Britney Spears spinning in circles on Instagram. Everybody's losing their fucking mind. Nobody, you know.
Britney got me dizzy just thinking about it. That bitch been spinning for 4 years. I'm like, this is never not spin. But you notice something. I'm thinking about this. The 3 billionaires are the most quiet. I mean, I'm not taking Diddy. You can exclude him because I don't even think he's a billionaire. He's an influencer that has a inflated evaluation. Is, in my opinion, that's what Diddy's given. But I'm thinking about Beyonce, Jay, Rihanna. They still are quiet. They still focus on their art, their craft, their products or whatever. And I miss that. I really miss that.
Well, Rihanna is quiet now. I remember years ago she would stay on Twitter cussing people out, calling them motherfucker. What a blood clot to talk to, you know, all kinds of
right. But then she got quiet, and what happened? She became a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. So a
billionaire keep you quiet though. Being a
billionaire
keep you nice and quiet.
Yeah, what you gonna talk about?
I lose my voice if I'm worth $1 billion. I ain't got to explain shit. I ain't got to explain them.
And she don't explain nothing, that girl. She showed up and was like, do a little TikTok dance at the Super Bowl and went on home.
Right? That Super Bowl, I love me some Rihanna. But that Super Bowl performance, honey.
She's like, I'm a billionaire.
What? I'm sorry, ma'am. What did you say? I'm
hungry.
I mean, $1 billion again. When you got $1 billion,
yep, Eve too. You ain't heard shit from Eve when she got that billionaire husband.
But let me tell you, it was the most watched halftime show ever.
I mean, if I had $1 billion, am I hitting those guitar chords with as much passion and ferocity as when I was worth 100? There's a case that I wouldn't. You know what I mean? You'd be lucky if I smoked the whole guitar. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, man.
And let me tell you, I was rooting for her. I love me some Rihanna. So it's like, but it was hard to defend. That performance is hard to defend.
It was, and I was
like, come on, Riri, come on, kick your leg up. You could do it. You could do it. Come on, Riri.
Jay and Kanye would have showed up. That'd have shut it down.
I thought Jay was gonna come out. I was like, nobody.
And she tried to do that. I was like, oh, baby.
I'm like, they wrong for that. She was pregnant. They should have came out. I thought Jay was gonna come out and beat but if then we are. I was like, and it never happened. It never happened. I was like, wah.
Yeah.
All right, loves. We are out of here. This was a fun one.
I just want to add this. Say what you want about some of these guys. You know, when you talk about, like, say Diddy, you know, being the past and everything, past his prime, nobody's looking for him. And I know, Jen, that you remember, but people like Snoop Dogg that have been able to have a second wind and totally change their image, that is kind of a slick move. I don't know who did it for him, if he did it himself, but it's not easy to pivot like that. And he did a pretty good pivot.
It's not easy to pivot, but if you're a black guy and act really stupid and corny, unassuming, non-threatening around white people, they lift you up like this. He became the hip hop Will Smith.
And he's not physically imposing. He's
not physically imposing. Very skinny, very goofy looking. He looks like Jar Jar Binks.
But yeah,
can we be honest? Can we be honest that if Snoop Dogg wasn't Snoop Dogg, he looks bad. He looks bad. I'm sorry. He looks bad to me.
Like an old Doberman.
Right. And he's ready to get put down.
Old Doberman pincher.
Put down.
He does.
He's very good at being subordinate when he's in a room with white people, and like Abby said, Martha Stewart, that was a gold mine. Him acting like a broken buck in Martha Stewart's kitchen.
Yeah.
Bravo,
I mean, listen,
bravo.
I get it. I mean, yeah, not being threatened is probably a way to make a lot of money. I mean, I don't know how you sell threatening to the majority of the population.
I mean, if you go, 50 Cent. He has the 3 #1 shows on television, and he's very threatening. 50 and in person. I mean, he's very threatening.
He was able to have a pocket and be at least, I guess, workable enough to be around white people and not be too threatening. You know what I mean? But he still has an imposing stature.
He definitely does. And Snoop, he always acts he's always promoting being high. He always looks high. He always talks high. So he's not gonna look threatening.
It's like Willie Nelson.
Yes, he looks like some old high dope all the time. You know what I mean? But let me tell you, it was, a lot of people don't talk about it, no Saint, but it was a hell of a pivot. And I'm like, for all the people that are always talking about street cred and all of this and that, I'm like, this motherfucker's literally sliding around and tap dancing, licking chocolate off a white woman's fingers, and y'all didn't say shit about that.
Nothing.
Y'all didn't say a motherfucking thing. But when the rainbow hair kid snitched, all of a sudden street cred meant something. But Snoop Dogg is literally licking chocolate off the fingers of a white woman. You're like, hey, Unc Snoop. Unc Snoop. I'm like, I see y'all full of shit.
That's
Gaddy. Fuck Gaddy. Get him the fuck out of here, my Stars boys. Get him the fuck out of here. Don't call me brother. Don't call me brother. I'm not your fucking brother.
Right.
Oh my God, Star. All right, guys. So out of here. Oh yeah, he did say that recently. Snoop Dogg was like, I don't drink that shit, talking about the liquor that
he pushes to the
promoting.
kids.
Yeah. He was like, I don't drink that shit. All right, guys. So we'll meet back here tomorrow. Pull up to the block. Mañana. Stay tuned for all our content upcoming. Make sure you follow all of us. Our names are on the screen. You want to support the show and you enjoyed the show. Cash App on the block with Jen. Let me pull this banner down for 2 seconds so you can see where you can find all of us. There it is. Those are our names. You can find us on all our social media. We're going in studio. I'm excited. This month we're going in studio. Well, I am, and Lillian, I am. The fellas will just meet these goons on the block every other day. We don't need them stinking up that studio and peeing all over the toilet bowl.
Right. It's not like feet.
Hey, I be wiping the toilet bowl sometimes.
Feet and farts.
Sometimes. Shit. All right, guys. Good night. Love you all. We're out. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door for mama. We appreciate you. We can't do this without you. Again, I stress, Cash App on the block. Genevieve, you want to support this show? That is how we keep the street lights on. All right, guys. Good night. We will see you here tomorrow. Salute to you. Thank you for supporting the show. Good night.